starts in 3, 2, 1.
Unicorn Hunters is not a financial advisor or broker. It showcases potential unicorns on its show, but we do not make any representations or guarantees about their future value. All investments have significant risks. If you choose to invest in a company presented on Unicorn Hunters, it will be between you and the company. Get ready, world, for a whole new way to invest. Introducing the Unicorn Hunters.
We are talking about a cultural and economic shift.
A savvy group of investors whose only job is to provide an unvarnished assessment of who they think can become the next unicorn.
Still trying to come up with an idea of what actually your product is.
Sex sells, my friend. Sex sells.
What would you do with that extra $20 million?
Meet the Circle of Money. Our Unicorn Hunters. Steve Wozniak, co-founder of Apple.
I am in and I'm going to invest.
Mo Vella, attorney, business consultant, and two-term White House senior advisor.
Everyone has a place at the table.
Silvina Moschini, international entrepreneur and CEO of SheWorks.
I believe in you and I'm going to invest.
Lance Bass, boy band phenom, businessman, and venture fund investor.
One word I love is disruptive, and this is that.
Scott Livingston, a securities expert known on Wall Street. Rosie Rios, financial wizard and former treasurer of the United States, with her signature on over $1.7 trillion of U.S. currency.
This could be a game changer for a lot of families.
Alex Konyanikin, a serial entrepreneur, author, and CEO of Transparent Business.
I'm going to invest.
Together with you, they're on the hunt for the next unicorn. Alan Ruskoski started his professional career as a pioneering leader in GE's dominance of the multi-billion-dollar MRI business. He pushed the company's market share to 80% within just 2 years. Motivated by his obsession for improving the quality of life for people around the globe, he became president and CEO of a disruptive company, poised to become the next unicorn in the healthcare technology sector.
My name is Alan Ruskoski, and I am one of the founders, and I am the Chief Executive Officer of CVAC Systems. We all know that exercise can help make you healthier. But the problem is, many people cannot exercise. They may be injured, they may be overweight, they may have chronic conditions that prevent them from getting the benefits of physical therapy. So we developed a technology and we patented a device that can benefit everyone. The CVAC system is an air vacuum chamber. While you're sitting in the pod, we create a vacuum as if you are going up to high altitude, and we come back down several times in a 20 to 40 minute CVAC session. The CVAC system activates many of the same molecular pathways as vigorous exercise. So we know it works. The way we know it works is from the published scientific studies and from the numerous testimonials that we receive from our users. Tito Ortiz is a multi-time UFC champion. He's one of the early CVAC users.
Well, I've been using CVAC now since 2001. I've used it for pretty much every one of my camps. And after the first 2 sessions I used, all of a sudden the soreness was gone, all the lactic acid out of my muscles, and the recovery time was amazing. From then on, I've been hooked.
The first market we went after was high-end athletes like Tito, high-end fitness centers, athletic training facilities, wellness centers and spas. We now are talking to much larger entities, universities, hospitals, corporate wellness centers that are talking about buying hundreds and thousands of CVAC systems at a time. One entity we're talking to is talking about buying 20,000 CVAC systems. That alone would be a $2 billion order. Wow. So we're seeking to raise $20 to $30 million to get ready for that increase in demand. We believe we have the technology, we have the business model, and we have early traction with customers to build a really big company. I mean, really big.
Thank you, Alan.
We're now going to open it up to the circle of money and see if anyone has any questions.
How much does it cost to actually produce one?
Right now, we're producing them at cost. If we can get our volume up, then our total applied cost will begin to approach our variable cost per system. Our gross margin, 70%. To purchase one, it's about as much as a high-end Tesla Model S. However, the product life is more than 20 years. If you amortize that cost, it's $600 a month.
How long does it take to manufacture a CVAC?
It takes us about 4 months to build a system. We're located in Riverside County, California, which is like the center of aerospace manufacturing. We have the same vendors as Tesla. We have the same vendors as SpaceX. The pressure vessel is essentially a space chamber.
I'm curious, so it's fascinating. It's kind of a manipulation of the body and mind to feel like you've just exercised. What is the feeling when you get out of the machine? What does it feel like?
When you go up to the high mountains, you feel really good. When you get home, you feel euphoric. Well, that's how you feel when you come out of the CVAC pod. You feel euphoric.
Are you sweating? Are you?
No, there's no sweating.
Really?
And a lot of people, when they go in the pod, they go into an instant meditative state.
While the pressure is low, is the oxygen still the same?
Yes, when you go up to the mountains, it's 21%.
Can you exert yourself while it's low, like play a video game?
Yeah, in fact, you could simulate being in an F-35.
Wow.
We'll get the biological benefits of the workout, but will we get the six packs and the butt lift and everything like that or not?
Should I take my shirt off?
We're gonna.
I like Alan.
One of the important things for six-pack abs is a lot of weight that people carry may not actually be fat. It may be lymphatic fluid. CVAC is outstanding at flushing out lymphatic fluid.
You are not claiming that it's a replacement for exercise.
No.
Meaning, doesn't matter how many hours I spent in your capsule, I'm not going to look or move like Lance.
Well, I don't know. It depends on how much of that is lymphatic.
It makes you feel good. It's a supplement to your exercise, but not a replacement.
That's right. You may not have to exercise to the point of being breathless.
Understood.
We've had a lot of people use CVAC and then go climb Mount Kilimanjaro. They tell us they get there 2 hours before the rest of the people in the team, and they stay there for 2 hours longer after everyone else is out of breath.
Now, I wish we had this on the road with NSYNC because that was a huge problem when we would go to places like Denver.
Yeah.
You'd have to have oxygen side stage because you would be so out of breath the whole time.
Right.
I can see in my touring world that every artist should have this.
Axl Rose has one in his home.
Yeah.
I have a quick question. Why hasn't anybody thought of this before?
There are a couple aspects of this, okay? When I was a child growing up, I didn't talk, okay? This was before we knew about things called autism. To be honest, I am a classic Asperger, like 70% of Silicon Valley.
As is my nephew.
Well, I view it as a gift. People with my condition have this incredible talent of being able to think multiple steps ahead. And they're being highly sought after for their abilities to program in artificial intelligence. And the CVAC system has a lot of artificial intelligence.
Who regulates this? Is this an FDA thing?
The FDA has come up with a new guideline that they have told us is specific to us, which is low-risk wellness devices. And they actually allow us to make medical claims without getting pre-market approval.
Do you do marketing and branding thinking yourself?
I have a lot of help. We have a lot of help from our channel partners.
But how do you market CVAC?
By putting people in the pod.
CVAC's changed my life personally because when I was originally diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis, doctors wanted to put me on low-dose chemotherapy to treat it. And I was in my early 30s. my daughter at the time. I'll get emotional because it's changed my life so much that like I have a life now. My daughter, when I first got the diagnosis, I couldn't even dress her. She was in preschool and she had to learn how to dress herself. And then as the weeks progressed and my inflammation started to dissipate, I was a mom again. And for me, that's everything. And fast forward, my daughter is going into high school to be a junior next year. And I mean, our quality of life and our relationship wouldn't be what it is today without CVAC. So it's everything to me.
That's a powerful testimony.
I'm actually claustrophobic.
Yes.
And the more I keep listening, that was my constant fear right now in hearing all of this.
10% of the population is claustrophobic.
I'm glad to hear I'm not alone, honestly.
When we designed it, we had you in mind. It has a very wide window that wraps around you. But most importantly, there is a switch on the inside that if you want to get out, you flip that switch and you can get out.
Oh, that is comforting to know.
All right, I have two questions. One, is there a massager in it that massages you as you're laying in it?
You could put one in there.
Okay, good to know.
There's room to put one in there, and we'll let other people do that.
Perfect.
Actually, a great question.
And let's talk about the name. So CVAC is not the most sexy name out there, and
No,
you know
it's
it's
not.
all about marketing.
Right.
You know, we have Peloton, we have Therabody.
Right.
We get it. Do you plan on changing the name or marketing it with a different label?
For selling stock, I think we can have less of a sexy name, so to speak.
Well, I don't think so. I think sex sells, my friend. Sex sells.
Then you should become one of our entrepreneurs.
Well, I mean,
So I'm curious, Ellen, are you comfortable sharing how much you've personally funded the CVAC?
Everything I had. That was $20 million ago. I could have retired, but what I do is way too much fun. I will never retire.
Alan, there is a commonly used saying, be careful what you're asking for. To assure success for international investors who would be funding you, you would need to build like a Tesla gigafactory.
Right.
And you'll be very, very, very busy. Are you prepared to scale your business from practically a prototype level to Tesla level?
When I was at General Electric, I was at the beginning of their MRI business. It was my strategy that resulted in 80% market share in a $400 million business 2 years after the product launch. That was the most exciting, invigorating thing I've ever done, and I want to do it again.
I love the concept, but I didn't like the brand, and I do believe that branding is extremely important.
We're not tied to this branding, but if you do those kinds of snazzy marketing, what happens is doctors say anything that advertises like that is a scam.
CVAC, in my humble opinion, doesn't
I'm with you,
make it.
Silvina.
Okay, wait,
You're right,
I'd like to,
but that takes money.
I'd like to make a suggestion. It's a conditioning pod.
Right.
So what's wrong with C-pod? Simplicity, in my
C-pod, yeah.
opinion, is key, right?
I'm not a consumer branding person, and I know that. That's a major limitation that I have. So we need to hire the right professionals.
You know what? I want to commend you on something.
Yeah.
Every successful person, from the two vice presidents I worked for, who's one of them is now president of the United States, you just did the number one thing and the number one reason I believe they were all successful. You acknowledge that you know something you don't know.
Oh, sure.
And you're going to surround yourself with people who know what you don't know.
Absolutely.
I am really happy to hear that.
Thank you.
What happens if you got 40 million? What would you do with the extra 20?
Then I can rent units. Right now, the system is being reimbursed by Medicare in physical therapy, but I need the money to do that rental program.
You just said two magic words to me. Medicare reimbursement.
That's right.
They're pretty magic to me too. How about you, Rosie?
I agree.
It's being reimbursed as therapeutic exercise. For a 15-minute session, Medicare's paying $27.50.
That's really good to know.
There's a CPT code 97110.
I want to try this. So if it was in my doctor's office, I would use it. If it was at my gym, I would use it. If it was in my office, I would use it. Is there a way we can try it out? How can we do this?
Well, you can come to Santa Monica.
Sign me up.
I'm counting on Lance buying one and setting it
we're
up
all
in
just,
his
we're
house
all
in
just going to
Miami.
Lance's house to use the one he's getting.
I can't wait for these nights. It's going to be
All
amazing.
right.
Alan, this is a very interesting product. Right now, the Circle of Money is going to take some time to discuss in private. We will invite you back shortly. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Fantastic questions.
All right. Thanks again.
I am very excited about the future of CVAC. because this circle of money can help companies like CVAC that are pre-IPO access the capital they need in a way that doesn't damage the company and inhibit the ability to bring this technology to the rest of the world.
All right, Circle of Money, what do you think? Did our unicorn check all the boxes?
Well, honestly, I'm torn. It's not an easy sell. But he answered so many questions convincingly. I like his passion, determination, and he invested everything he could in his company.
I'm torn also. It checks half the boxes for me. I'm scared about the scalability. I don't know how huge this market is, but with my fund RX3, it's all professional athletes. So this is really what we invest in. So I'll have to take these to my partners and see, but you know, I could see us investing in this for sure.
I thought he checked off more boxes than not. How's that, right? So I'm a little torn too. My concern goes back to the affordability because right now at the price point, I don't see the consumer market having access to the product. And that always worries me. But in so many ways, as Lance is saying, there's so many boxes it does check off.
There is a market for it. I mean, people pay $65 one session of cryo. So there is a market for something like this.
Well, and they go to the tanning salons, right? Before pandemic, obviously.
With the pandemic, that's my biggest question, right? So if that is one of his target markets, is kind of workforce conditioning, how does that fit in now with the new workforce conditions?
Do we need this product? I mean, is this product needed? And I can't help answer on my own behalf. Yeah, it is needed. I mean, I would need it.
I don't know the physiological, chemical reactions and all that in the body and how that affects you. Is this like, driving over mountains and you feel lightheaded? Is it like scuba diving and you come up and get the bends? But personal testimonials mean more than that sort of, you can read this figure and that science and all that.
That's powerful if you think about it. I mean, that really stayed with me.
At the end of the day, we shall still apply logical criteria in assessing how scalable this business is. We can go point by point. Is the market huge? Well, if he convinces people that after this pandemic, a good way to get in shape, to feel good again, the market can be quite substantial, especially if on scale, he'll be able to drop the price. Is the need acute? Well, for me it is. It felt like a hibernation this winter, with gyms, etc., shut down. Is this solution recession-proof?
I don't think so. I don't think it's recession-proof.
Here I am with Silvina.
Yeah, but it boils down to money as well. If he can provide more information on how he's going to partner up with key celebrities so they can get the word out. Lance mentioned that he could have been a good client of his times at NSYNC, but I'm thinking I'm Argentinian, so I think of the soccer players when they need to play on altitude. That's a challenge for them.
When he was talking, I was thinking of the NFL. And how about all our sports leagues too? I mean, I'm starting to think the market is there. Again, I worry about affordability.
But it all comes down to marketing.
Yeah.
I do not like the name. I don't think I could sell that to anyone. But it really is going to come down to marketing.
If they change the branding, the product seems pretty cool, especially if it fights cellulite, which for women it's just a massive issue.
It might be a good idea to get Alan back out here and see what he has to say.
Let's do it.
Good.
Let's do it.
Welcome back, Alan.
Alan, I'd like to give you 60 seconds for a final pitch. Count it down.
Okay, well, I don't need 60 seconds because we have a device that's going to change the world and make it a better place.
Respect.
Well, there you have it.
Thank you all.
Okay.
It's fun.
Simple. There you go.
All right, well, thank you, Alan. Panelists, it's time to make your move. Mo?
Alan, I was conflicted. I'll tell you something. You and my nephew haven't let your Asperger stop you from changing the world. And that inspires me. I'm going to invest.
Thank you. That feels good.
Thank you, Alan. It was super compelling. I love the technology. This is an area in which I don't have a lot of expertise, so I would like to go deep and research a little bit more. And once I feel more comfortable with the information that I have, I will make a decision whether to proceed or not.
If you do that investigation, I know what the result will be.
Thank you.
I like this. I like that this is classified as a low-risk wellness device.
Right.
But I want to take it for a test drive. I'm one of those that has to feel it, I want to experience it, and this is really something I want to pursue.
Thank you. Thank you.
You know, the other opportunity here that is really massive is the thousands and thousands of brand ambassadors that could be developed as a result of this. And I think that you have a great opportunity to bring us more than just money, which I think is really spectacular. So I'm excited.
Thank you.
Alan, I really like you. I like where you come from. I like how you're thinking. I like that you stuck with this and what the device is about. Oh my gosh, you know, exercise and feeling good is the most important thing in the world. Much more important than how much money you make to me. I told my wife, you know, I'm not going to invest. I'm not an investor. I don't do that. But you've convinced me and I am in. Yes.
No, thank you.
Yeah, I think this could do a lot of good for a lot of people that really are limited in their ability to exercise, and it almost gives them a justification. I can read a book at the same time. So thank you very much.
Terrific. Thank you.
Alan, you are quite the inspiration, and I think this is a brilliant idea. This ticks a lot of the boxes for my fund, but I'm gonna definitely have to go in a deep dive with my partners and talk about this, especially the professional athletes that are with me. But I have a feeling they're gonna like this, so congrats.
If they use it, they'll know.
All right, we have a lot of test subjects for you.
Terrific.
Yeah.
Well, Alan, I had many doubts. But you convincingly answered so many questions here. And what moved the needle for me was the undeniable fact that you are definitely not a quitter. I see a determination in you to stay on it until you make it a success. So I'm going to invest in your company, and it would feel good for me to help you get on this road.
I will appreciate your help in scaling it up.
It will be my pleasure.
Well, I think that was a very successful pitch, so congratulations, you did a great job, and thanks for the opportunity. And thank you, panel, for all your decisions.
Alan, it was impressive.
Job well done.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Alan.
It takes guts to get in that circle. It takes guts. He kicked ass, man.
It was very
Great.
impressive.
I really like the product. I think it's going to be very successful.
My experience in the circle of money was almost as good as taking a CVAC session. People have a hard time investing in new technologies because they don't have access to do the due diligence. What the Unicorn Hunters does is it makes that due diligence available to everyone.
I want to thank you all for watching and being part of this revolutionary financial community. Remember to connect with us on social media and tell all your friends. We'll be back again next week. Until then, what are we?
Unicorn Hunters!
Thank you.
Unicorn Hunters is not a financial advisor or broker. It showcases potential unicorns on its show, but we do not make any representations or guarantees about their future value. All investments have significant risks. If you choose to invest in a company presented on Unicorn Hunters, it will be between you and the company.